From the Gulf States newsroom, this is the Gulf States Gumbo, your weekly serving of stories from Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. I'm sports and culture reporter Joseph King, chopping it up this week. On today's show, Jazz Fest starts this weekend in New Orleans, and rap superstar Lil Wayne is headlining the festival for the first time.
Getting Lil Wayne, of course, is a real coup. We've wanted him for years. I mean, that name has definitely been on a post-it on my desk for a long time.
And we hear from New Orleans Queen of Bounce about what Jazz Fest means for the city. That's all coming up on the Gulf States Gumbo. New Orleans and music are synonymous. Jazz and brass bands may be the first thing that comes to mind for some people in older generations. But over the last couple decades, you can't mention music in New Orleans without bounce or hip-hop in the conversation. This weekend kicks off New Orleans' highly anticipated Jazz and Heritage Festival. And this year, hip-hop legend Lil Wayne will take the main stage with the Roots for the first time in the festival's history. At Jazz Fest, you can hear a little bit of everything. And Afro Banks says, if you're a musician from New Orleans, you want to perform there.
Jazz Fest is kind of like the local, I guess you could say, mecca for performance.
Banks is a rapper born and raised in uptown New Orleans. He performed at Jazz Fest last year and played on the stage at Congo Square.
It's like, that's just where you play. Like, if you're a black artist, you know you're playing Congo Square stage.
Congo Square has a rich history itself. Local historians say enslaved African people will congregate there every Sunday to play music, dance, and sing. But Banks says it seems rap artists tend to play that stage by default.
But it does feel like no matter how big you get or how much notoriety you get, like Tank and the Bangers play Acura stage, which is amazing. Big Freedia plays the Acura stage, which is amazing. They're huge acts, you know. But pretty much anybody else, you're probably playing Congo Square. And that's just kind of where the artists go.
Those artists that Banks mentioned have huge bands that use live instruments, something Lil Wayne typically doesn't have.
I don't know if I'd be wrong to say this, but I don't think he would have got booked if he didn't have the Roots with him. You know what I mean?
This is why Lil Wayne and the Roots headlining the main stage on Saturday is a big deal. Louis Edwards is the associate producer of Jazz Fest. He controls a lot of the creative and visual elements people see at the festival.
Getting Lil Wayne, of course, is a real coup. We've wanted him for years. I mean, that name has definitely been on a post-it on my desk for a long time.
Edwards has worked with the festival for 40 years, almost as long as the festival has been around. It started in 1970. Locally, Jazz Fest is sometimes known as Dad Fest, targeting middle-aged or older people. Getting Lil Wayne may be an attempt to broaden that audience. But Edwards says the festival caters to everyone and that it has embraced hip-hop since its inception.
And there's been hip-hop throughout, whether it's, juvenile and mystical on a local level or on a national level. Nas, Common, Drake has played Jazz Fest. I don't know that, those artists are thought of as just appealing to middle-aged people.
Edwards heard about Lil Wayne and the Roots performance last year. At that moment, he knew they would be a great fit for Jazz Fest.
That was new, that was fresh. We felt like it was something that would play really well at the festival, which for the most part is driven by acoustic music. Some hip hop shows, or, it's a recorded music, it's a track, right? But we love it when the music is really acoustic and it's live, and this was going to deliver that.
The Gulf States Newsroom is a team of journalists working with NPR and local public media stations in Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana to cover the issues that matter to you. Email us, connect@gulfstatesnewsroom.org.
You're listening to the Gulf States Gumbo. I'm Joseph King. Another rapper that's performing on the main stage right before Lil Wayne is none other than the Queen of Bounce herself, New Orleans' own Big Freedia. Big Freedia is basically royalty in New Orleans. She popularized the hip-hop subgenre known as bounce music. Bounce is known for its fast pace and repetitive drum beats and call-and-response lyrics. I spoke with Big Freedia ahead of Jazz Fest and asked her about her earliest memories of the festival.
Just my mom and them talking about Jazz Fest and how much fun it is and how, how packed the city will be and the food at Jazz Fest, of course, and who they going to see. Just as kids growing up, you would hear all of the conversation and the hoorah behind Jazz Fest. And my mom was a hairdresser and, she always did hair, for like 30 years. And her shops were always close around Jazz Fest, in the area of Jazz Fest. So she stayed busy, lots of cars parked around there. She used to let certain people pull in the lot. Lots of great memories about Jazz Fest.
And how is that different from performing now?
Oh my God, from just being a kid and hearing about it and then, like being taken with my mom to, Jazz Fest. And then like now actually being on main stages and, all the different stages running around for Jazz Fest is an amazing feeling. I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be, a New Orleans artist who is able to even be a part of Jazz Fest and the culture.
Now, as an artist that's been all over the world, you've seen other festivals, you've seen other venues. What is it about Jazz Fest that separates it from other festivals?
It's nothing like home, baby. It's nothing like NOLA. Just being that it's, New Orleans and that it's home. And, of course, the food, is amazing. The gospel tent, just the different stages that we provide. A lot of times when you're at this festival, you may hear one certain type of music, but Jazz Fest allows you to see so many great artists. They bring them from all around the world. You get to see the local acts. You get to see the Mardi Gras Indians and the whole cultural thing behind that. You get to, experience all of these different, food vendors. And, it's just no experience like that. And, I think it's very diverse for every type of person that the world, has. And it's just different than everywhere else I've been.
You speaking of it being diverse, that was one of my questions when I was asking other people about this. Some folks have said, on social media, that the audience, it seemed like is older, middle-aged white people. What do you think is the target audience when you go out there?
It's a little bit of both, but it's about who's coming to support. It's the big thing. A lot of times, our people just don't want to come and spend the money. They want to get in for free. It's about who's coming to support and see the artist. And if that's middle-aged white people or older white people, so behold. But if, our people will come out and to support the events and the artists that, is on the bill, it will be more black. It will be more younger folks, So you can't talk about who comes if you're not one of them that's on, in the room.
No, I understand that. This is actually going to be my first time going, so I'm looking forward to seeing it, yeah.
You got to come and experience it for yourself, and once you do, you will not want to miss it. Viewing who's in the audience. Come and experience, and you could be one of those in the audience and really get a chance to see, damn, New Orleans have one of the coolest festivals in the world.
As a New Orleans native and a hip-hop artist, what does Jazz Fest mean to the genre of hip-hop?
It's important to the genre of hip-hop, Great artists who in the hip-hop world have came and graced our stages. I'm a part of hip-hop. I come from it. Bounce music being a subgenre of hip-hop. And so I give a little bit of everything when I'm on stage. And Lil Wayne, he's one of our biggest. And he's closing my stage as well, for Jazz Fest. So hip-hop is big.
That was actually going to be my next question, so I'm glad you brought him up. Lil Wayne is performing on the main stage for the first time this year. What does that mean to you, and what does it mean to other rappers in the city?
As you can see, Jazz Fest is expanding their horizon, and they are trying to bring more of our black folks to come in to support the Jazz Fest and to support just our own city and our natives who grew up here and from here. Hope Lil Wayne called me for our song we have together, I'm just saying. But it will be fun to just experience Wayne whole Jazz Fest set.
And with your performance, what can people expect from it?
Oh, it's going down. I'm going to be doing some of my new music off the gospel album. I am also going to be doing some of the old Freedia, so they will get an experience like no other person going to be doing on this weekend.
Well, you mentioned Big Freedia coming out with a gospel album. They were like, what? What was the inspiration behind that?
Well, I grew up in church. I started in church. I started in gospel music. I was the choir director at my church home. I sung with the New Orleans Gospel Soul Children, the Gospel Music Workshop of America. I was the choir director at my high school at Walter L. Cohen. So this is nothing new for me. That is my background, and I'm just taking it back to the roots. Where the world is right now, we all need it. I need it, and so as much as I do, I know the world needs it. And it's something that can bring a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel for everybody.
And one of my last few questions I want to ask is, how has music changed, in your opinion, in New Orleans over the years?
It's changed in many different ways. I've saw music change from, bounce beats starting at, in the BPM of 90s to being in the BPM of, over 100 and something. And I've saw the diversity change of different artists. I've saw so many, bounce artists be birded and groomed over the years. I've saw the change from where the Cash Moneys and the Master P's started and where they are now and what they're doing. It's just a great thing to see over the years of how the music has changed and how the city has changed and how music helps lift us all up and keep inspiring us.
So we have a segment on our podcast called Gulf States Gems, right? We ask people to highlight a special place that's unique or special to them in the region. With you, this is a Jazz Fest episode. So what's your favorite Jazz Fest food or drink? Best place for Jazz Fest after party, all that.
My favorite food at Jazz Fest is the white chocolate bread pudding. I forgot the name of the restaurant that does it, but I'll be at the booth. They know to send Freedia a whole box of the white chocolate bread pudding, and I sit there and I just swallow about 6 of them back to back. It's a little small portion, so I'm a big girl. But that is my favorite thing at Jazz Fest. I mean, I like the po' boys at Jazz Fest. I love the jambalaya at Jazz Fest. Yeah, the crawfish strudel. I love all of that. You get to experience so many different kinds of food. So when my team go out, I can't go out into the festival myself like I used to. Sometimes I take that chance and walk in, and I don't get far. But when my team go out, they come back with a box. One box is all the bread pudding, and the other box is all the different arrays of things that Freedia wants. So they'll probably give me a po' boy, the strudel, the jambalaya. They may say, oh, I saw something new. They may give me like the mango little freezy thing or whatever. So there's so many things that I like at Jazz Fest. I go with an empty stomach because I know that I'm going to be full off of the things. So where would I take somebody if they're coming in town for Jazz Fest? I probably take them to Neo's to stop and get some food or Maro's. I also probably will take them to Cafe Du Monde to get a beignet. We may go walk on Bourbon. Most likely not. But we'll go on Frenchman otherwise if we don't go on Bourbon. I'll probably take them to one of the clubs, the J's or the Treehouse or something where, it's going down and the hood is in there. I like the hood spot. So I'm going probably to the spot on Broad across from the courthouse. That's all the fun places I would go. And what was the last question? I know it was one more.
It was the best place for a Jazz Fest after party.
Oh, the Dewdrop Inn, where I'm going to be for 2 weekends in a row. That's where you got to be, the Dewdrop Inn. I mean, everywhere I be jumping for, Jazz Fest after parties. But you definitely want to come see Freedia at the Dewdrop Inn, though.
Well, again, Big Freedia, I appreciate you taking time out to talk to me. I'm looking forward to seeing your performance when I come down there.
All right, come through now.
This week's show was hosted by me, Joseph King, and it's cooked up by the Gulf States Newsroom team. Our theme music is by DJ Supreme. Special thanks to our partner stations, WBHM, Mississippi Public Broadcasting, WWNO, and WRKF. You can find us in your podcast feeds every Friday. Look us up and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to steal your root.